Welcome to Unlimited Railworks. I was going to do like a happy bit, but I feel like that's not the vibe here.
No.
I feel like it's a little more like rage. Like, hey everyone, we're going to fucking Unlimited Railworks. I don't know. We're here to talk about all sorts of anime, including our monthly anime. So yeah, we got Elvie here. Hi, Elvie.
Hello.
Hi, Elvie. Thank you for doing all your research and notes for the project that we have today in store for us.
It was sad. It was necessary, I guess.
I suppose.
And you know what? And you know what? I still don't know the context of why we're here now.
That's true.
Searching high and low for origin stories of why something is made and why does it exist. I could not find answers still. And perhaps it's meant to be that way.
Maybe so. John, what are your thoughts? Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Maverick?
Anime? I thought we were talking about tooth decay.
Oh. That sounds like a TQ tier joke.
Unlimited Railworks? I thought we were doing Unlimited Baleworks.
Oh, no. You have a shovel. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I can't do it.
The only thing I could be digging that's shallower than my own grave would be the reputation of our podcast.
I don't think that. Listen, we're professionals, okay? We delve into the side of darkness. That most people. Yeah. So anyway, we watched TQ, all 9 seasons of TQ. TQ is a sports manga series written by Roots and illustrated by Pio. It was created into an anime format by Mappa across the years 2012 to 2017. Every episode is like 2 minutes long. 3 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
they feel like 1,000.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a lot to cover ground here. You know, it's a bit of a funny little series. It's about jokes. I don't really know who should start here, is my thing, because obviously Elvie has all the research, but I feel like I do want to, like, start us off easy. Like, I don't... Maverick, do you want to...
It fucking sucked.
There you go. Okay, go ahead. Tell us how you feel.
Shit. I fucking hate Teekyu, man. Oh my god. I truly don't know the last time that I felt so, like, upset that something was trying to be funny. I mean, I guess the last time was Teppen, but I don't know. I'm mad. I'm mad.
I don't blame you. I will say I'm glad that it seems to have bolstered your appreciation for Skip and Loafer, another show that started recently.
Literally everything else is either elevated or worse. Like it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a food taster, and I just like had my defining moment of like this is my new standard now. Not like the best thing I ever had, but like if something is better than this, it is already meeting its mark. Like immeasurably, and if it manages to somehow be as low or worse than this, then I will like make sure anyone knows it.
I can understand your frustration. I can say personally, seeing this again, I think it's pretty astonishing. I would say, like, I was trying to think of like how I would word this, but it's like, for me, TQ is like a show that's like a lot of forms of comedy, very hit or miss, right? Except, like, I feel like TQ's miss rate is astoundingly high. Like,
it is.
Like, I have never seen something with a miss rate this high that I've watched. Of just like that I would go out of my way to watch. I mean, like, obviously there's bad shit out there, you know. But like something that like I would be like, okay, let's check this out. Like, this is easily. It's just it's kind of amazing to me almost of just like. You don't even know what they're going for in a lot of cases as the joke. Like, it's one thing to do. I think it relies on a lot of like, you know, randomness bits. But it also just relies on a lot of trope analysis and like, I can't say critique. Parody, lampooning. There we go. That is just bad. It's not good. It's just not good.
I mean, the main lampoon of it all is like, oh, we're a sports club that doesn't do the sport that we're like allegedly doing, and then that the well is already so short, and we manage to not only like run out of it, but we just walk away from it entirely.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of like there are a lot of episodes that I do like. Not a lot is generous. There's like several episodes that I enjoy. Like that, there's a good one. Anything with Udanko and her family is insane. I think I liked those episodes.
Udanko's family, I like. Udanko,
not herself, but when they go to the bowling alley like twice. And I like the episode where they're like, oh, you can't take pictures because Marimo's on the run from the CIA. And then the newspaper comes out and they're like, the CIA is coming to investigate this or whatever. It's like one okay joke. Yeah, I don't
memory
fucking
hold
know.
that episode. I fucking memory hold that episode.
I had to hold on to the bright moments because I had to believe there was a reason this was created.
Well, yeah, there is a reason, and that reason is Michael, and that reason is Tomarine.
That's very true. That's very true.
None of the main characters, though. Fuck them.
No, I think I said this before the show, but like Tomarine, easily the best part of the show, 5,000%. Easy. I think every episode with Tomarine is good in my memory. Which I'm going to grant you, my memory with this show, I just fucking watched it this week, all of it, and I already don't remember like half of it. And it's not even like it was that long. Like they're 2-3 minute episodes.
I don't remember any of it,
It's
like
crazy.
at all. It just flowed through my mind like water. It was just in and out. Nothing about it was memorable. Like even the stuff where I'm like, you know what? That was a little funny. I'm still just like, I don't remember it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I get that I get that the joke is that it's like, oh, it's super fast paced. It's all just, but like, it gives you no time to like process, to remember any of it, to like have any kind of fondness for it. It's just like, it's just this thing that exists that like like when I watched the first season, I seriously felt like I was getting chased around with a broom. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like I was getting attacked. And I was just like, I was like, dude, just leave me alone. But then I had eight more seasons to watch, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so bad.
It's easily like the longest that 9 episodes of a show has ever felt.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be real with you. I still think Flowers of Evil was worse for me. Somehow.
That's fair.
Like, I think it was just the grueling nature of it, like, versus this. I guess it's just a different type of pain.
For me, it really is more like, I can at least find humor in melodrama. If I am not having fun with something that is explicitly trying to be comedic and fun, that feels like a sharper blow.
And also, like, I mean, you had the source material to go to and find more value in, and here, even if we were to go into the source material or say some spin-off material that exists, I'm not necessarily sure there would be anything rewarding there.
I'll at least argue. I saw some of the bits of the Forocoma that were posted. That made me chuckle more. And it really is like pacing.
That's
like,
yeah. I also I was thinking about this, and I talked a little bit about this. I do think like the show would be helped a lot more if we were not watching it in this format. If we were watching it, I don't think it would help solve the critical problems with it. But I think like in terms of how we like absorbed it, I think it would make it feel a lot better if it was something that's like, this is a short at the end of an episode of anime that was a real show.
But then what is the intended watching of it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I had trouble finding information about it. If it was just a web series, if it was on TV, it was hard to figure out anything when I was looking into it. I guess it was on TV. It was on Tokyo MX.
It did well enough to get fucking Blu-rays that they shelled.
I mean, I don't even think it needs to do well enough to get that stuff. I think most things... Well, actually, I don't know. In this era, I guess. Yeah. Mappa. It was their second show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they only worked on it for 3 seasons, even.
Who took over? I didn't even know that.
Millipence.
That's right, Millipence. Great. Millipence banger works. I see this here. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they did So What, I'm a Spider.
And the Berserk anime.
Well, they co-produced that with Gemba, and Gemba, shit all over their own asses with the other thing they made.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but
it's the fucking... what is it? The wilderness thing.
Some post-apocalypse thing.
The Magnificent Kotobuki. There we go.
Yeah, that might have been. But, no, Millipence at least seems to be doing better overall. The fact I couldn't even tell you the actual difference in animation studios.
Yeah. But LV is an expert here now, as she tends to be in many fields. I feel.
I don't, that's not flattering at all.
No. You're an expert in being brave enough to.
Being a tennis expert, that's flattering. Being a Teekyu expert, that is.
That's
Tomarine expert.
That's one of those things that. Oh, I guess I have to put this on my resume because I have nothing else right now to fill. You must scrub it. No, I'm someone who loves going through wiki holes and deep researching. I don't know. I feel like in another world I would be a wiki editor, but thank God I'm not. That's a scary world to be in. A wiki editor.
Another world with my wiki editing privileges.
In another world, yeah. If I was using, I would be a obsessive wiki editor, just scrubbing through various topics, trying to keep the site afloat when that man is screaming for donations every last quarter of the year, and the banner gets bigger and bigger.
I really miss his sad face. What they used to put up there. That was the funniest shit in the world.
But anyway, as I alluded to, similar to me, Rose, looking up what the fuck, why, why, who, what. There is a weird lack of information as to the intentions behind this series. And yeah, as someone who was the one who kind of cracked open to understand, okay, what's going on with the manga, and first of all, it's not a 4-koma. That's even weird. There are 4-koma pages, but no, the manga is straight up a straightforward kind of, a typical. So the skits are exactly kind of how they're conveyed in the episodes. But yeah, so big difference. Yeah, you're not processing them at the speed as you have to when if you quote unquote watch the series, right, or absorb, however you want to say it, let it pass on by, right? And the author notes imply again, it's just the author notes, at least how it was translated, implied there was a sincere intention with this series. So yeah, first of all, the jokes in the anime are exactly as they are in the manga. There's no distinction beyond the presentation. They are. The first chapter of the manga is exactly as I remember of the very first skit, where the normal girl Yuri is teaching Kanai, the pink-haired little one, how to play tennis, and Kanai's just being a random XD, right? Oh, I have a plunger for that whole thing. That's exactly how it opens. It's exactly the same. But yeah, the author notes imply otherwise, that this person sincerely wanted to make a tennis series, a tennis and I don't know, maybe it's a big troll. That could be it. This is all one big jape. It's just yeah, and they're just they're just masking the fact that this is all a big troll joke, and they got away with murder. Okay, good for you. You got published in a magazine for a decent while. I hope you got good bucks for that. You just ran away with murder. But that said, yeah, this is a series not with substance. But there is a little extra stuff in the manga that, extra jokes that, again, because of how the anime chose to do things, it really is just, there's little things I think in the manga that I think could have added somehow some more dimension in the series in a way, but again, that's not salvageable at all, right? That doesn't mitigate the problem of like the problem being at the core that a lot of jokes are just not good, period, right? Like some of the comedy is just not good, period. But for instance, there's a whole thing with Kane in the manga that implies she's actually a fluent English speaker, and there's a whole thing where she's supposed to be a film buff. And it's like, what? What do you mean? Like, that's not at all conveyed. So that's why she makes random movie references in the anime, and that is why the episode titles are named loosely after movies, because one of the characters is into movies, and they just don't, they don't explore that at all. So yeah. So I kept joking about how I have, like, this dense, series of notes. As I would describe it more accurately, it's actually a list. It's a list of bits. And as I'm going to go through it, I assure you, I'm going to sound like I'm an apologist for the series, because I even surprised myself watching 9 seasons and accidentally some of the specials. Accidentally, I assure you, I did not accidentally like, oh wow, I got to get more of this content.
You stumbled into them. You clicked on the wrong link.
But there were, like, for me at least, I don't know, maybe because so here's the thing, how I watch the series, every time I actually paused and had a moment of self-care and like, okay, I'm gonna write down what just happened, like sincerely so, to process like what I just watched, like what happened in those 25 minutes I just watched. And that's probably why I process the series differently from people who would have more negative opinion. I was like, okay, I'm gonna like actually unpeel, like peel down the onion layers of what the fuck I just saw, and maybe I'll understand it better. Maybe I'm trying to dissect something that is a problem that cannot be fixed. That's what happened. But for instance, I'm just gonna go down it. Yeah, so there were a lot of bits and jokes I liked, like bizarrely coming out. I was actually honestly coming in thinking like this is gonna be bad. Like I knew for a fact it was gonna be bad, but I didn't expect, like, I actually like chuckled and laughed at some of the some of the bits. For instance, in the first episode, again, the normal girl's named Yuri, who's blue haired, long hair, and then Kanai is the pink haired girl. And again, her bit, like primarily in the series, is like, she's insane, she's random XD, she's the random XD one. You know, Yuri is the straight man, the normal, quote unquote, normal one. And Kanai is also, like, looks like a child. And it's the whole archetype of, like, she looks like a child, but she's actually a senior. It's like, oh, okay, sure. But for instance, one of the bits that I really laughed at in season 1, I actually marked this down, was that Yuri finally asks Kanai, like, why don't you eat in your own grade? And then Kanai says, I eat in the bathroom. And for some reason, I just laughed at that. Like, there is something sincerely broken in me, I think, by the time we get to, like, maybe 10 minutes of this one episode. No, not even episode, season. 10 minutes into this one season. And I just laughed at that. And then the next shot is her trying to leave. Like, okay, I'm gonna go. And she's, like, leaving through the window for some reason. And they're, like, on the 3rd floor. Like, something about that was, like, okay, that was kind of funny. Like, that was random in a way that was thoughtful. Another one was like the rich girl, who we all, I think, collectively agree is the worst character. Nusuno. Yeah, she's the worst. She's the worst for many reasons, as we will go into. Yes, people. She is. She needs to go to jail more than Marimo, honestly. Who also has her own issues. When they find out her, like, when they're figuring out who her dad was, like, why are you so rich? And, like, I think, and then Marimo's, like, asking, like, again, Marimo's the insane tall one. And Marimo's asking, like, oh, why are we talking about your father's birthday? You're actually someone's child? Like, there's so many, like, insane, like, edgy, passive-aggressive lines that are very funny, like, if you catch it in that moment. And then eventually, that's the whole reveal, like, oh gosh, her dad Colonel Sanders from KFC? It's like, okay, that's stupid. But then one of the girls pictures Ronald McDonald instead, because she cannot process or decipher the description. I thought that was silly. But anyway, there's stuff like that, if I could easily go down through all the example, like, but there's stuff like that that's really, like, I could say, like, admittedly, the dark humor of the show was kind of funny. And I think it's because of the context of it being in such a weird, already displaced, like, situation, like, I'm not understanding. So when Kanai says something fucked up, like, we're in a pet store, and she says, wow, look at all the fresh meat. I wrote this down. Like I wrote this as like, holy shit, what do you mean she's gonna eat the pets? It's like it's that dark, edgy, dead baby humor that's like, oh my god, okay, sure. That does, I think, is effective when it's placed in some. I think humor like that works because it is placed in a situation you do not expect. So, like, for me to expect that nothing in the show is funny, for someone to say like an insane dark joke like that, like I'm gonna eat the pets, it's like I think that's I don't know how to explain the principles of comedy, but it's something like that is the shock to my system being like, oh my god, I can't believe they got away saying that, right? That said, of course, I'm not saying the edgy humor of the show is good. Like, there are points where I'm saying the edgy humor bizarrely worked in the favor of the fact that the rest of the show was not good. And that point being with Marumo, I'm sorry, Yuri was the one with the purple hair. Marumo's the one with the blue hair. She's the tall girl. And her bit is just being a sex pervert. And she's on the run from the law all the time. And it's, like, not funny. Like, that's not funny. And it's not... and it technically was not funny the first time, but they keep doing it. Like, they keep saying, like, oh my gosh, she's eating someone's panties. Like, oh gosh, she's, like, fondling, and, like, she's on... Like, that's not funny. Like,
here's the
again,
thing,
an edgy joke... an edgy joke's, like... execution is because you do it once. You don't keep doing it, and at that point it's just insensitive, and that's like I don't know what your intentions are there. And also she had a
thing
bit
with her though.
Yeah.
The insane thing with her is that I feel like they forgot that she was supposed to be like the pervert for like a while.
Yeah.
Like I remember
it
like
blurs with everyone else. Everyone else becomes the pervert.
Well, the first episode she's like doing all the horny shit. And then I felt like there was, like, nothing for, like, 3 or 4 seasons. Yeah. And then, like, everyone was doing it. But they just kept bringing up with her specifically. It was just, I was just like, all right, I guess you just remember that was supposed to be your thing. But also, everyone's just groping each other, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah. Yeah, Nusuno, again, the rich girl we all hate, is just fucking weird about Yuri's younger brother. Freak shit. Once in a while, Kanai says something like perverted, but I think she's fine in terms of like she never goes too far, I think. And then Kondo, who's like who at first seems like another normal character in the context of the rest of the series. They just basically made her a pervert later on, which is like so disappointing. However, the rest of her family's fine. Like that's awesome. The bowling alley, udon shop, very good. But yeah, they also like forget like. Yeah, they're somehow not consistent with their own bits they establish with, like, the different character roles. Again, a lot of people just end up blurring with the same edgy sex humor, like, across each other, or just, stuff that's just, like, none of this matters in the end. Like, so, and everything just blurs in a mess, right? They forgot also how, initially in the beginning, they also kept joking about Marumo being too tall. And they just stopped. Like, they just stopped referencing that she's too tall and can't fit her clothes, or she keeps hitting things. And then they introduced a new bit of her when they finally introduced the alien girl, which we all love, who we all love, Tomarin. And now she's just like, her bit is now like with the alien girl. Like, oh, she's just trying to show her around, but also the alien girl's not benefiting from the fact that she's with a really stupid person, to like introduce her to what humanity is. And speaking of Alien Girl, I feel like all of Alien Girl's bits are actually very solid, quite honestly. Again, there's a skit where she's in the electronics store and she's just interacting with everything. I think that's very cute. She looks at the TV. She accidentally, the TV accidentally, says a sleeper agent activation word at her, I guess. I think there's an intention that she's not technically... I think there's an implication Tomarin is technically sent to... destroy her, not to be a visitor of her. So I don't know, there's a whole thing with that. Again, see, this is me overanalyzing the series, when in reality, I don't think they thought about any of this.
Found the Teekyu lore somehow.
I'm thinking it back to, they're showing Tomarin the school, they show the school actually has an alien or space base, the space base destroys Tomarin's planet, and they're like, oh shit, okay. And then they move on, it's like that, stuff like that. But yeah. What else? What other bits did I like? I like the Navy SEAL nursery school. I love him. I think he's great. I think that whole bit where they're like, oh shit, we gotta go through the barracks to teach these kids things is very funny. He is shockingly probably the most respectful brown person they have in this show, as someone else probably could go into.
Well, it's like both the characters that they have that are like this There are two brown characters that they have in the show, and it really, like, the joke for the most part is, hey, look, it's an American.
Look at that guy.
Hey, look,
seen him
it's
around.
a brown person.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, nothing in itself is offensive, and, like, I wouldn't even stand to say, like, I'm very particular about my gripes with this, if only because it's like, there are jokes to be made where it's like, okay, you know, here are the, like, buff people that are also doing, like, a very domestic or very just, like, a pedestrian job. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
One of them eventually gets into something where it's like, yeah, the Mexican government and the Yakuza, or Mexican, like, mafia.
The Mexican mafia or whatever, however they translate. Even
and
though
it's like,
they probably meant the
sure.
cartel. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Sure, whatever. Like, it's fine. But it's like, again, it just wasn't funny. Akiba Maid were doing a whole bit where, for the baseball episode, they have the fucking main team hire, like, people from Venezuela. I forget which Latin American country in particular, but, like, have them hired to specifically help sock some dingers. That's funny, because it's, like, so...
Uh-huh.
There is some truth to the way that baseball has, found itself being a world pastime, to the point that, like, you know, the joke of, hey, we gotta get this guy from Latin America on our team is, like, pervasive enough of a stereotypical joke that it's, like, still funny, because the punchline is, oh man, we're getting creamed by this dude who should be in the major league. And that's fine. But here, I don't know, again, it's like, it doesn't help to service a joke in general. We have talked for 27 minutes about Teekyu. What the fuck?
You said it was gonna... Yeah, it's like one season.
Yeah.
It is a whole season.
We've only unpacked one season. We have to go through these.
No, I'm like in season 3, I think. What else?
I guess
the cat bus was good. I'm sorry, go John.
I just want to say, like, I like the music. I like the OPs for the most part. Like, one or two of them weren't great, but, like, 4 and 5 are my favorites, and like I thought they were, like, actual straight up bops. I don't know. It's like the music was a fun bit. But then I will say the other thing I will say is that God, yeah, like it like that show just completely flew out of my mind. I did not think about it at all. The only thing that I thought about was I was, like, driving to or from work. I don't remember. But I was just sitting there and I just thought, wait a minute. No, it's not funny that all the episodes are named after movies. That's just not funny. That's just bad. Like, it's not good. I know that you said that in the manga there's a whole, like, movie buff thing, but, like, it's not funny. None of this it's not funny. It's just stupid. It's just all XD random bullshit, throwing it at the wall to see what sticks, and hey, guess what? That wall is not carrying any of it. Bad. I thought it was really bad. I mean, I might have chuckled, like, a little bit here and there, but man, I think just not good, in my opinion.
My rate was something like, I would say there was 1.5 episodes per season that made me laugh.
Yeah.
I think is roughly the ratio I worked out. Because sometimes there was, like, 2 episodes, but most of the time it was, like, 1.
Yeah, I would even say that's, like, not necessarily the episode itself, but that's the duration of time.
Yeah,
I think,
definitely.
Of, like,
That's
parts
a good
that
way to
were
put
good.
It. Yeah. Definitely.
So, like, 2 minutes worth of good jokes out
for
of
every 24
30?
minutes. Yeah, 30, I guess so, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Or, well, 20, even shorter, 25.
Something like that. It's just, the ratio is bad. The ratio is off. I just think, like, early on, there's stuff like, I just think about the arc where they go to a hot springs resort. Because they're still going through the motions of satire, doing a satire of club manga and stuff. And it's just like, are these jokes that are happening? I don't know. Like, there's just stuff like they take off their skin and they become aliens for a second as a joke. They just keep saying, honestly, their bad joke of just saying transform over and over again, or combine over and over again.
Oh, yeah, that was
treated as like a stupid joke, but it's literally funnier than any joke they try to do in the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that arc is just so nothing, and then it's like there'll be like one joke in the middle of it that has nothing to do with what they're doing, like the Nasuno making the table for table tennis like extremely like her side is skewed perspective so that she can win. And it's like, that's a joke about tennis. It's mildly funny. You're never going to do this again.
Yeah, there's also, like, a lot of, but also, like, again, I don't remember the context. Like, again, we're still struggling to context. Like, there's a lot of insane deep pulls, like, and I caught this because, again, I grew, when, again, I don't even know anyone remembers this character, but they go, there's a slime shop, there's a slime shop girl. She's like,
no, there isn't.
Yes, there's a slime girl, and she was like a Shakugan no Shana reference.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you?
I was like taken aback.
I was like, what the fuck? And at some point they do the business card scene from American Psycho. Like, I don't, like, what do you, like, what, like, they have insane bits like that are very specific. And, like you said, they never show up again.
Yeah.
And it's some of the episodes they do very loosely actually do reference it, but again, in a very shallow way, which again is kind of the problem of the jokes. Like, which again stems back to the issue of, like, they don't, yeah, it's the pacing and timing and everything. They say something stupid and silly, they do a pun for, like, 5 seconds, and then they don't commit to it. Whereas much shorter time they have. Like, the joke is that, like, everything is fast and you can't keep up, right? In a way. Again, I feel like it's just a troll thing. But then, so, like, that's why I think there's some characters we like, because they're consistent. Again, Tomorin is just consistently fun, she's cute, and then her whole bit is like, oh, she's an alien trying to, she's a classic, like, weird 1950s, 60s sitcom alien character, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I Dream of Jenny, the fucking Martian and Flintstone, like, they're like, what is going on here? Yeah, the she is very great kazoo. Oh my god! But
like all her jokes are, and like like every episode that she's in, I think is good. Also, like I was just thinking, like her first episode is a shining light in those early parts of just like she appears like, and her Mario was like, mom, help me, and her mom's like, I do not care, and she's like, wow, she doesn't trust you enough to open the door, and it's like this is playing with their character bits, like these are nightmare human beings or whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't just joke about Tomorin being my favorite. Like, literally, I think about Tomorin and I'm like, you know what? If this hell gave me anything,
it's that damn oomph. That's an oomph right there.
She is not the oomph, but yeah, she is certified oomph.
Yeah, like all these consistent things, like the udon shop, bowling alley, her family, like, that's fun. Because again, whenever they go back to it, it's the like, oh, they're keeping up with like what we already know. What's the expectation? And here's them subverting it. My other favorite character is the Gyaru priestess, the Gyaru exorcist. She's fucking good. She's awesome. Yeah, because every time again, her insane Russian name, I don't know what's going on. But, and then she actually is a sister or something to Kondo, which is, again, that whole family, unhinged, but they're probably the best characters, except Kondo herself, sadly, at the end. But yeah, whenever she shows up, it's like she's consistent to the rules they have established with her. Like, oh, okay, that's weird. Why is she, okay, that's why she's a certified, like, exorcist or priest, you know? And yeah, she does the whole thing where, like, she's just the stereotypes of what a Garo does. It's like, oh, she's, like, into drinking. She's, like, wearing flashy fashion all the time. And they completely commit to that bit of, like, her stomping on a ghost with her heels to make them pass into the afterlife. Like, I think the last significant skit she was in, she's having karaoke with her other monks, and they're just normal-ass monks. And they're trying to, like, exorcise, like, a ghost from the toilet or something. Like, that whole thing was funny. Like, it's good because it's thought out, like, and they don't, and again, like, just going back to another issue, one of many issues in the series is that, yeah, they, like, throw out the roles they've established with, like, the main girls, except, I guess, Yuri. but in a way, she's kind of sad too because she's kind of like a nothing character if she's the blank slate.
She is the load-bearing Tsukomi,
yeah,
and
she's
she is
carrying the weight on her back.
Like it is not. Again, because I also get it where, a lot of this is... I will not say that I'm an expert in Japanese comedy. I will definitely be far from an expert in Japanese comedy. But you at least watch enough to understand when stuff is in reference to the whole straight man, wise guy routine that is so pervasive. And, like... Again, similar thing to Teppen. That structure gets broken because it's groups of 3, and then you just have this weird flux of who is supposed to do the reaction to the outrageous, subversion of what's going on. It's never consistent there. Here, it's like you have 3 separate, jabs at what is the norm, and one person is not enough to actually, keep up with that.
And she's kind of not present most of the time too, especially towards the second half of the series. Again, it becomes, we start throwing in all the other supporting characters who become more present as well. So then it's like, oh no, there's no, there isn't that control anymore, or a reason for her to kind of be there beyond beyond those other. And then they barely show up. They show up twice, those other normal girls compared to them from another school who has their own spin-off series, from my understanding. Whenever the light musical was an obvious K-On joke.
Oh yeah.
They took until maybe season 8 to finally make a Prince of Tennis joke. Appalling. For a tennis show.
Yeah, really.
I liked
and then a random Toho joke. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
The random ass Toho joke at the end. But that's that.
The one, not even a full joke, but it's just when they're in the haunted house or something, and then their stock reaction is a reference to that one mangaka. Whose name I forget, but I know his famous bit is drawing that reaction face of the mouth agape. And I can't even tell you which episode because I'm just mainly remembering when they use it for the shitty OP. The third OP.
Yeah, that one's easily the worst opening to me. I think in general, a big problem with this show fundamentally on a level is it's not funny or good, but I admire the perversion inherent to Marimo far more than the perversion that encompasses most of this show early on, where it's you know what, at least this is so over the top consistently with what she's doing that it's just I don't like this, but it's it's something. And then that third opening is just them shaking their asses for the entire duration.
I need to make it known that when I go on my rant about how unfunny this is, it's not me being a prude.
No.
Far from it.
It's just they're trying to be funny about it the entire time, it's a joke.
I'll say there are sex comedies that still work. Golden Boy still works. Because there is at least an understanding to the raunchiness at play where it is more of a back and forth. But here it's I think about the literally I'm here for a moment referencing a fucking Hazel video because it brings up this idea how in the early inception of or not even early in 80s to 90s that inception of doujin circles, there's this difficulty when it came to drawing porn because of the fact that you're trying to crack this code of I want a cute anime face, but to match it to these humongous tits, it feels weird. There's not something that's working here. And this is all in the inception to what we understand as moe and the whole moe boom, and how that ushers in a whole new proportion that fits, but it's like that idea of like bodies and like sexuality as symbols is maybe the most that I can actually give a thought when it comes to Teekyu, because of how much it just like crashes that event horizon where it's not even like bodies that I mean what is that first opening if not just like a admittance to that idea. These are just playthings that will inflate and pop once they're no longer of use. We spent 40 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to go on much longer. I think we got the gist, because I know we want to talk about like the season started properly, and we've been able to get into that a little bit. But yeah, I will say at least like much like Flowers of Evil, I'm not upset that I watched this necessarily. I feel like I've gained insight into the darkness of humanity even more. It's just very strange, and I don't know. I don't know. If the hit rate was just higher, even per episode, like if you told me like even 45 seconds of each episode was going to be funny, I would say that's better. Like I would say that's acceptable, and I could probably put up with worse. But it was really like 45 seconds per season, and I don't know. I really don't know.
It's not very good.
No, it's not.
I didn't like it.
I'm very sorry. Alright, yeah, should we move on then? Do you want to move on?
Please. Please.
Well, wait, hold up. We do
What?
have a question.
Yes, okay.
If you want to send in a question, you go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like this. What
From
was everyone?
Anonymous. Yeah.
Yeah, Anonymous says, what was everyone's favorite opening? Is anyone planning on watching the spin-off shows? Take a wild guess for the second one.
I'm sorry to anyone out there who really liked it. I don't think you'll find joy here.
I am like slightly curious.
But that's like your like professional like curiosity, not your heart.
Because like the spin-off show is based off, what is it, the one other team we saw for like a split second.
Yeah, I shared a clip of it. They're still weirdos, but it's actually 4 minutes per. So it's literally Teekyu episodes if they slowed it down to 1x speed. And yeah, they're just weird and have random humor, but it's actually they're just normal. And I don't know if that makes it worse from my impression of what I saw. It's like they're not doing anything, so I don't know. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, because then am I just wasting my time? There's nothing here, right? But it's the alternate universe of like one of the TQ girls were normal, I guess. It's trying to present itself. But no, in terms of the rich girl, no. I can't tell. It all blurs, right? I think I've seen a couple of the Nusuno spinoff, and yeah, she's not good. She's just being fucking weird about someone's little brother. It's like weird. I personally kind of like the first opening, and I know that's strange.
It's good.
I think it's because it's like sincere. And it's I think compared to the other openings, I think I like it because the good openings that I think we collectively agree on are good because they're actually well produced, and I think that's why I like the first opening though more because it's not well produced. It's very the singers of the saves their voices are cracked. Like it's not a well produced professionals made song actually, and I think that really encompasses what the series is.
Yeah, the vibe. Sure.
Yeah, it's the vibe. It sounds like a bunch of women just shit posting at karaoke, you know what I mean? And I think that exemplifies the series. But I also agree that Alien Tomarin's theme song is very good.
Yeah, I really liked 7. Yeah, 7. I liked 7 a lot. And, of course, the Tomarine one. Because Tomarine's there. I don't know what to tell you. It's also just good. It's just a good song.
That's also
For me,
that man.
it's a really good song. I feel it's like, what? Tomarine, then 9, then... fucking... What are any of these other songs? I can just feel... The 4 and 5, I guess. Basically, the dirt worst are the third one still. The one with Udonko. I can actively feel myself lose brain cells the more I talk about this.
John,
Tomarine.
did John
I think
already say
it's-
yours? Yeah,
I mean, kinda. Yeah, I think my absolute favorite is 5.
fair enough.
It goes hard.
All right. Well, then, be gone, Teekyu. No more.
So we don't recommend the
Enough!
series.
Yeah, is this a universal?
No, I would
non-recommend?
recommend this series if you have enemies.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's like the poop in a box. You're mailing them the poop. This is the poop in the box you're mailing, except it's a.
It's like those fucking Spencer gifts that you'd buy for something.
Mhm, a gag gift. This is what you would if this is what you show when you interrogate people and you're holding them hostage. This is
You
like
play all 9 seasons.
this show gives people Havana syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I do think that, like, I know you said that you did hate Flowers of Evil more, but like, I think
Yeah.
this is, like, just from my memory, this is probably our most overall negative review. Because yeah, like,
This is a flower of evil.
To me,
yeah,
Again, here's the thing. Flowers of Evil, the anime, at least got me into Flowers of Evil, the manga.
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying,
and
like-
I get that, but it didn't get me into it. So that,
Okay, with a scene about you.
I know. I know. I was gonna say I.
Folks, this is my last episode.
No, I've said I agree
Turn
that it
newspapers
is
in.
our universal, probably worst one that we've watched. Right? Like, I don't think there's anything worse. Like, I'm trying to think in my mind.
It is the most I have not wanted to actually talk about the show we're thinking about.
And yet
Like,
here we are.
we always manage to get at
Yep.
least... Because, like, I'm looking through the actual list right now. Junibyo, that was at least a fun back and forth about what's going on.
Sure.
Trying to think about any ones in particular that were like,
I remember John really hated Kofuku Graffiti, I think.
I did. I really hate that. I mean, I also really hated Yushiki.
That's right.
That was just me, you know. Like, the rest of y'all liked it, so that was just me.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes, that just felt more like it's fine, but there's definitely something lost.
Hmm.
Hellgirl, we ultimately came
No,
around.
but-
How
no,
can
y'all
you
enjoyed
resist
Elgar. I don't know what you're
pitiful
talking
shadow wandering in the darkness?
she just throws them.
How can you
into a
resist the
hole.
most horrible orphan in the world? So you think I'm a bitch?
I know Angel Beats for sure is like, it's something that just did not age well, and not because it's problematic, but because of just the tropes in it.
You know, though, Angel Beats was pretty fucking bad. I'm gonna be real now that you're saying that.
No, I know. I'm like,
that might
apologize
be.
here, 'cause
I might
agree-
dislike
yes.
that one more than this. Also,
That is also
Yeah.
okay. That's fair. That's fair because Angel Beats had like effort.
it has a
put
claim.
into it. It had like money pumped into this thing to be a multimedia thing, like and just that and it's funny to me to this day, not funny to me to this day that there's still no sequels to the visual novel series they promised out of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's tons of stuff they still have not delivered on of it being a thing. But yeah, okay. I reminded you of a shadow of a distant
God
past.
damn.
So that's leveling the playing field of like the low quality stuff that we
gotta have one a
did
year.
not. Yeah.
So better do
Our
all
one
bangers from now on.
collective therapy session.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. In our list, I'll be very transparent about our list of patron picks. We also have Good to Good Fairies in here, and I am expecting this to be like the polar opposite.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think
mean,
Good to Good Fairies has worth.
I will at least say that I already know that I like Good Fairies, so...
I don't think Teekyu is inherently worthless. I just...
Oh, no, like, to go that far, it would have to, like, I don't know, throw a slur out.
They come close.
You know?
They come really close sometimes.
Like
it feels like they're towing the line a lot, and I'm just like...
They want to toe the line. It's a weird, like... So much of it is so weird.
Yeah.
Because they just always say... It is the epitome of what I would call a middling show. But that is also so fucking bad that I hate it.
Yeah.
Again, I just think the format of comedy is just so nightmare-ish. Like, I think when you go into something to make it fully comedy, and you don't have a, like, bit... Like for example, like, it's really basic, but I still love, like, Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto or whatever? Because it's just, like, the bit is, like, yeah, they redo the same bit, but they, like, constantly elevate it and do callbacks and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, you have something here. Here, it's like they don't elevate very, like, anything. If anything, they forget the bits all the time.
It's the fact that one idea can lend itself to a 12-episode, 24-minute anime season, and people will still be like, yeah, I had fun. This, in its existence as 108 2-minute episodes, was still a slog to get through. Like, I sat there stone-faced to get to the end.
So on that note, as we move on from Teekyu, I do want to, you know, lighten the vibes a little before, like, I sentence John to Smartphone World or LV to some sort of, I don't know, dark worlds that she has written down here that really scares me. Maverick, you're skipping Loafer. I want to hear about it. You were so happy.
Oh my god, let me talk about fucking Skip and Loafer. Oh. So, okay, where do I start? God. As part of this season, one of the shows that I decided to tune into, because, you know, it was just one of the things that Crunchyroll immediately threw at my face in the splash screen, was Skip and Loafer. It is a romantic comedy started back, the first chapter started back in, like, 2020, I want to say. It's fairly recent, which I'm surprised about, in terms of its overall, yeah, just everything about it. Okay, serialized since 2018, so still pretty good, but it's like it's a monthly. It's a monthly. So far there have been 8 volumes out, and oh man, just really, really solid. But I'm just gonna read off the synopsis real quick. So, excellent student Iwakura Mitsumi has always dreamt about leaving her small town, going to prestigious university, and making positive change in the world. But she's so focused on reaching her goals that she's not prepared for the very different and overwhelming city life that awaits her in a Tokyo high school. Luckily, she makes fast friends with Shima Sosuke, a handsome classmate who's as laid back as she is overprepared. Can this naive kanji girl make it big in Tokyo with Sosuke by her side? Simple premise. Such a simple premise, but it just sings. And like, it sounds like I'm overhyping this. It sounds like I am just, like, going leaps and bounds on this show, but, like, I was thinking about this earlier, where looking at the landscape of the last, let's say, like, 20 years, more or less, maybe 13, but, like, modern anime rom-coms. Toradora gets a lot of adoration for the fact that it is a quintessential melodrama. It savors the audacity of its narrative, and from that, you know, the character work becomes so elevated so that this will they, won't they, inner turmoil and confusion still feels relatable. It comes from a sense of knowing the characters. My Love Story, Ore Monogatari, that sort of is I would consider another foundational rom-com of the last decade or so, because of the way that it sort of took in this influx of like, will they, won't they, and said, you know what? Let's skip that and instead focus on what would happen if, you know, two lovebirds just decided to go ahead and like figure out the quote unquote rest of their lives together. And it is so earnest in that like sweet and tender perception of love, and it really works well because of the fact that from that, you know, you do build on community that like builds around that. Like the people that were always like cheering on the best friend character, whose name escapes me right now, but like the ethos being, hey, I really love my best friend, and if you're somebody that is actually like seeing something romantic and wants to like go with him, like, you're in my good graces, I'm gonna help you all out with whatever else comes up. Like, that still sticks to me as like somehow still a radical idea in anime. And I think it also just being in like the middle of a lot of like NTR stuff probably also gives it like more of a luster in hindsight. But those two, Kaguya-sama, double the audacity, but it comes back to this idea of, you know, people who are so intense about everything that to find someone that is kindred to an extent, or someone that wants to like make you do better, can be a motivator. And how exactly do you navigate all that in its like insanity still becomes a very potent romance that also centers itself on how ultimately that like brings in other people, that brings in community. Skip and Loafer is the most straightforward because of the fact that it is just taking the route it's taking is, these are two people that get along really well, and they are realizing very slowly but very naturally that they are interested in one another. It's not a will they or won't they, it's a when do we get there. And it's not one that is like immeasurably long. Like it is the most that reminds me of what it was like to be in a relationship in high school, where it's sort of like you get this hit of like, oh my god, this person I want to be a friend to, I want to make sure that they're all right, but like, is this me actually having affection? I don't know, but it's just like, it always comes back around to building the relationship, no, regardless of what you actually like name it or what kind of description you give it. It comes back around that these two people are so compatible with one another. And from that, again, building the community, building people that are like supporting not only individuals, like after I watched the first episode, I've literally watched the first episode 3 times before the second episode aired, because I just love it so much. But then I also went ahead and started catching up on the manga, and I have now gone through 6 volumes at this point. And it just gets back to this idea that, you know, Mitsumi and Sosuke are already great people. And the way that they affect one another, and then also the way that they affect their group of friends, and it is hard for me to think about a character that I outright dislike, even characters who are complicated, because it is such an understandable level of complication too once you go through it. And it's not just like, oh, here's this sad backstory to make you regret the words, and you know, like once you figure out why Quiet wears this, you will regret your words and actions. No, it's none of that. It's just like, yeah, people are complicated, and let's explore that in a way that, you know, sometimes you'll be pissed off at somebody, and then once you get the full picture, it's like, all right, I at least recognize that you can still be an asshole, but you're not like lost in all hope or whatever. Also, genuinely really good trans rep, because Mitsumi is living with her aunt, who in this first episode, it was like this thing where it's like, am I supposed to pick up on something? I don't know. But then through reading the manga, they do just casually mention, like, yeah, no. Nao-chan is a trans woman living in Tokyo, and in the, like, it is really good representation in a way where I do not know if the author themselves, like, is trans, or what else comes up, but it's like, you know, I would not feel comfortable writing a narrative if I tried to fully explore the story of a trans character, if only because I do not have that perspective. And I would not know how to give the impetus in a way that didn't fall on very toxic tropes in order to lead the story. But I can at least easily talk about people in my life who are, like, I don't even want to say supportive, but it's like, no, I can definitely talk about, like, all right, bring you in as the person who I know is these traits, is these characteristics, and is still as much part of the story, but just isn't the main focus. Like, well, when we talk about this idea of representation, I think it also just leads into having the whole ensemble and what that also looks like. And Nao-chan is a really good descriptor of that. Because then you also have chapters later on that are about her, like, and also about her relationship with Mitsumi, where on one level, that bond is really what helped her open up and find out, like, hey, you know, I need to move, because in the they both grew up in a backcountry. Nao-chan is, I want to say, related to Mitsumi's dad, and so, like, her aunt. And, like, you get some moments in the manga that I'm sure will come up in the actual anime, of just like, yeah, I had to leave. This place was not doing me any good, so I had to go. Which is an interesting contrast to Mitsumi, who right from the jump is adamant about the fact that, like, I'm going to be the smartest person ever so that I can help with the, like, depopulation problem happening in the rural areas where I grew up. And it is so rounded of this idea, but, like, I can go on and on, because there's just so many good things to talk about. The opening is so cute because it ends with, like, a little dance bit with Sosuke and Mitsumi, and it's just, oh my god, it's really good. I can't, like, say enough. It's just, you gotta watch it.
You're not the only one I've heard espousing its values, let's say. I've seen a bunch of people on Twitter, especially in my friend groups, who really, really seem to like it a lot. I'm always just glad to have, because I complain about it all the time, right? Like, just bad romance in anime. Just, I'm glad that there are just normal people out there making this stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, just a human touch at all, at any stage.
It remembers that high schoolers are people.
Yeah.
Who can be full of a lot of ingenuity and, like, interest, but then they can also just be very stupid.
Yeah.
And both of these things can exist. And it's not, like, it's paradoxical in a way, but that's sort of the point of being a teenager, is that you're making sense of a lot of things that aren't making sense.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm really glad that you had that to contrast your experience with Teekyu. I'm always glad, just in general, when I see you be like, yeah, this got me hype enough to go read a manga about something. I always think that's great.
That is the mark. If I need to have more immediately, then you've done a good job of selling me on this franchise.
Definitely. So real quick, or I guess like LV, do you want to talk about something that's evil, or do you want to talk about something normal?
I guess we're still on this normal train.
Yeah.
Before we circle back to evil, right? Things come in cycles. Iruma ended season 3.
Oh right.
Very good. Again, I noticed every season of Iruma, unlike season 1 is the one that ended in a weird cliffhanger with Dark Iruma.
Yeah.
Yami Yugi Iruma, right? Season 2 and season 3 just end on a cute slice of life episode, and that's what happened again. So, right, they finished a tournament arc. There was an episode. The teachers had their own, like, recap episode. Like, the teachers are hanging out. They're having their after party. Like, oh, wow, you know, like, just patting themselves. Nothing really new. It doesn't introduce new information beyond it's reiterating how, like, oh, the teacher characters actually really love their students and they really care about them. Like, there wasn't any sort of plot unveiling of, like, oh, wow, there's, you know, nothing of that sort. They're just hanging out. They're being the adults, just you know, gallivanting. Yeah, it was just very funny. They were having their own recap episode because they were going through, like, different characters, not one by one, but yeah, they were literally just showing flashbacks to shots like, oh yeah, remember when that one student did that? I'm very proud of them. It's just like, okay, sure. And then it kind of does circle back though to the fact that there is like a cult. There is some sort of weird deviant, outsider demon cult upset at you know, just also kind of like trying to aim for the piece of their pie in regards to, again, the hanging thread that keeps being waved in the series. Like, who's the next demon king? Who's gonna be the next ruler of the underworld and change everything forever, right? The whole thing about, like, what's gonna happen. Like, are people gonna find out Iruma's human or not? And again, at this point in the series, some people do, and they, like, don't care. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Just vibes, just chilling. Or, yeah, they're antagonistic characters who are like, oh shit, oh damn, well, that changes things, right? And yeah, the last 2 episodes are just fun and games. They're just the character who again the classmate who won alongside Iruma, basically for is led. I think it's called lead. Like the subtitles I'm going off, it spells it as Lead, but it's Lied, so it is pronounced lead, I probably think. And they're just hanging out. I think it's so interesting that the past 2 seasons have taken a shift towards, like, yeah, we're gonna really unfurl these side characters and actually take our time with figuring out what's going on, you know, what are their motivations and ambitions. And I think that's kind of cool. Iruma does that. I do think though season 3 overall is the weakest out of the series thus far, because again, it's just like, this is a tournament arc. How do you handle that? You know, and it felt very out of tone, off brand, if you will, for like how Iruma has been. And yeah, we circle back to these last 2 episodes of the season where, again, it goes back to the slice of life school antics, which is very much what Iruma is and what you expect. So yeah, and it's mostly that. But yeah, Iruma's just hanging out with Lead. They're being boys night. They're playing games. Like, that's literally what they're doing. There's nothing else going on. Lead is being horrible and trying to show Iruma porn. I'm not kidding. Like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna show you. It's like, no.
Is it like on his magic PSP?
No, it's just like, no, it's traditional magazines. Like, oh, adult demon magazines. Distinct from adult human magazines, because again, he does not know Iruma's. Yeah.
I gotta say though, right now, you can really tell the age of the average mangaka who takes off just because of like how it's always porn mags. It's never like
yes, and not porn videos. Yes,
like it's
you're
always
absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. Or like DVDs or VHS tapes. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like that. Who even when I was a child, no one like.
Yeah, that was like way past. Yeah, stuff like, oh, accidentally find your dad's Playboy. Like, that's like, I think that's like 2 generations ago. Yeah. I don't know, like what, mm-hmm. like who amongst our age window like has
let
that
alone
story.
The target audience.
Maverick hit it like right on the head. Like, yeah, like if they were like our our age, it would be like, hey, guess what? I downloaded on my PSP or my fucking iPod Touch or whatever.
I got my DSi browser open.
More covert.
It would be like, wow, Memoirs of a Geisha on UMD.
No.
We were talking about that before. It's why I force the conversation about the PSP, just the random shit that got ported to UMD.
It's really
a lawless market.
Lords of Dogtown is the one that I just, like a bullet, I remember that was one that you could watch on your PSP.
I have a copy of Lords of Dogtown.
Is it on UMD?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
That's how you know you're a real one, John.
The last of the OGs. You got to put that on your will.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has again, he's just hanging out. Iruma's just hanging out. Oh my god, he has like there's a cooking skit. There's a cooking episode. He's a cooking episode where he brings Amari like to visit their mansion, whatever. And then Opera's like helping them cook. It's very sweet and wholesome. They make cookies. They make cookies for their parents. And yeah, we wrap it up and come full circle again with like hanging out with Clara and Asmodeus. And I love my friend. And then, Iruma has again his character moment like, oh my god, should I tell them I'm human? He doesn't. He of course doesn't, because the series would end or something. I don't know. And yeah, the next season preview is their musicals, theater. Are they gonna?
Great. That's what I want out of Iruma.
More songs.
Right?
More songs. They didn't have a full song in the last episode, but they did have a little song with Clara's like siblings singing to her when she came back home after their insane tour. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. Theater, school play, school festival, probably season. I don't know. It looked like full on music. Like, let's just have a song every episode. Why not? We're getting a song here and there. We just got to embrace this series being a full musical. I'd be down for that. Anyway, Iruma's still good. Very good. But I agree with you, Rose. I think last time we talked about Iruma, it's like, what is the long haul? And as I said earlier, like, the cult, like, how are they going to resolve it? The fucked up student, he's there, right? The fucked up Sado student, yeah. The Demon King thing, Iruma and Billy. Yeah, all these more serious plot threads that are like, I just like the nice happy bits. And there are, and again, I was saying like the tournament arc is weird because it does collide with how that's kind of like a serious, more typical shonen series thing that is at odds, I think, what are the stronger parts of Iruma is that it's wholesomeness, and it's like, oh yeah, like a series that seems to actually care about like the fact that it does have a huge cast of characters, and is trying its best to kind of like be introspective about all of them, as much as it can, compared to, again, I don't know, Naruto, again, a recurring problem, like more typical shonen series, like they get so many characters, they runs into the issue of like, we're introducing a character to introduce a new narrative or arc, when they don't need to do that, but they do that, and now we have too many characters that just don't really gel or leave a lasting impact by the time you get to the end, and I think they're trying to avoid doing that with Iruma.
I think like what really got me about this season is that like I stopped halfway through, or like a little over a third of the way through, and it's just
it's like so tough to get through that part. Yeah.
It's because it's like obviously yes, the traditional shonen thing, but that traditional shonen format is so antithetical to Iruma, which is just guys hanging out. It's just dudes. Yeah. It's just dudes. It's just dudes rocking, and it's like you don't have dudes rocking because they're all fighting each other basically. Like it's such a weird vibe to give that show after like seasons and seasons of like showcasing like you're strong when you're together, like, and it doesn't even feel like a novel approach of like they have different goals. It's just like I don't know. I think it comes down to my problem with it was like I think Iruma envisioned was about early on like very much envisioning a better world. Right? Of just like this idea of like it can be better. That's like the whole reason his grandpa has him, and like everyone is so amazed by him because he's this different person who thinks differently than the status quo. And then it's just like this feels like the type of thing where it's like when you go to school and they're like, isn't capitalism the greatest? Almost like that's how this tournament arc feels like I don't think anything's
shouldn't
learned.
you conform? Yeah, the whole thing too about the the what they call the misfit. Again, depending on what translation, the misfit class, the abnormal class. Like Iruma's class with all the weirdos who are like weaker compared to all the other demons in the school, right? And the band of outcasts technically. Yeah, their whole conceit was because the whole thing about the tournament arc being their propel into we're getting stronger in a literal way versus the emotional and metaphorical way, which is what the whole series is about. Oh yeah, you don't need to be. Yeah, no, I agree. Especially in regards to what I feel like the series has done a good job to of no toxic masculinity here. Iruma's cute and I don't know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It goes against a lot of those archetypes of this is not what being strong means. Being strong can just literally be mean. Yeah, like you said, being together. The power of friendship, as corny that is, but this is what that series is. The series actually is a legitimate, non-corny, I think, execution of the power of friendship.
Well, hopefully the musical aspect really helps later down the line.
Thank God, yeah.
I think that's
More
optimistic
songs.
to me. I've been thinking I really do need to get back into reading manga because I've made a list and I've downloaded a ton of manga, and I do sort of want to read Iruma and see if it's any better, but I still think it's a good production, so I don't think that would help,
Mm-hmm. There would be not much of a difference.
Yeah, because I do think it's a good anime adaptation. I don't think it wastes time or anything. I think it's just the actual content was just this time around. But who can say? We'll see.
Folks, I do have to give a bit of a news report right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One Piece
Oh no.
Huh?
has collaborated with
Okay.
Okay.
McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I got nervous. I got really
I got the
nervous.
rubber
there, to be
left
No,
quite
no, no.
honest.
What, you think I would say something bad about One Piece?
They're gonna cook Chopper up. Special.
No,
Yeah,
we're
they're
getting
killing
a
off
chicken
Chopper.
sandwich, baby.
No.
Nothing
looks
on the
pretty
char
good.
burger.
Oh, they're hyping up the Netflix thing. Is that? That's what
Yeah,
that is.
God, I
Yeah.
forgot.
No, this one's full
that's
on.
scary.
This is for the anime?
That's
This is just full on anime.
Oh, okay.
no, but it's the collision of those things. You know what I mean? Yes, the series is still going,
I get what you're talking about, but it also just is One Piece made it so late to the game in the States, at least, that it's you can see the Netflix adaptation and stuff, and it's oh man, all these things are coming up. Shit just is ever popular. This is it often is going to be stated Eiichiro Oda never has to work on another manga because he's already cemented his legacy for the last 25 years. He has made his own Don Quixote in a way, and that sounds nuts. Well, I mean, yeah, because Don Quixote del Flamenco, that's one of the characters in One Piece. No, it sounds nuts of me to say, and I probably, you would want to put me in a home, but, genuinely, it has superseded the man himself. Not to say he's absolved of, all of his sins, of course, but it is less of a conflict of interests for me to still be a One Piece fan.
No, I get
and
you.
when One Piece is crazy good a week. But carry on. I feel like with this we can finally segue into John.
Yeah, I was gonna say, John. Hey, buddy. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to keep it good? Do you want to go in hater mode? Do you want to?
I mean, I go kind of fast, so let me just kind of hit boom, boom, boom.
Go for that.
Yeah, I feel a little bad that maybe I'm not giving things the meat that it deserves, but
I mean, these are singular episodes in a lot of cases.
Yes. Okay. All right. Here, I will talk about the stuff that was single episodes. I think that'll be a good boom, boom, boom here.
Sure.
So, the stuff that I have seen of the new season. First off, I watched Otaku Elf, which I was recommended by a friend a couple of times. I didn't really know anything about it. It seemed like it would probably be something really just generic and bland and unfunny just based on title. But I don't know. I had a pretty good time with the first episode. I thought it was cute. The basic conceit is that it is about an otaku elf. She is an elf who was somehow transported to our world, and I don't know if she. I guess that basically she is being mistaken for a goddess. Like, in her world, she does not have much power, but over here, because she has any power, that's more than we do. So her doing like little miracles is seen as her being a goddess. So everyone just worships her, and she's been being worshipped for like 600 years. And the main girl of the show is her new like shrine maiden, and she's just here to help her out, but also does not put up with her shit at all. Like, everyone else in the town is just literally worshipping her. But this one girl is just like, no, you need to go outside. You've been inside for too long. You've been gaming too long. You know, like, she gets an offering of a PSVR, and, you know, just having to deal with this dweeb elf being obsessed with the PSVR is it's funny, it's cute, it's nothing too heavy, or like, I don't know. I wouldn't say like you don't have to go out of your way to watch it. At least not yet, because, you know, the first episode I was just like, yeah, this is fine. It's good. It's cute. I like it. Not kicking my ass, but it's still fine. It's fine.
Sure.
The other thing
was fun, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I watched only the first episode of so far is a show that when Maverick and I were talking about it, Maverick said something that was so true, but also just like, man, like, what a fucking world we live in. It was Magical Destroyers. And what he said about it was that, man, I hate that I like it so much because there's going to be more. And that makes sense to me because, like, for what it is, that single episode is just really, really good just by itself. And now the rest of the show has all this time to, like, fuck up that goodwill.
Yeah, right.
It is, like, the most anxious I feel about a show this entire season.
It's extreme, like, because I completely get it when he said that.
Because
like,
I assume people that if they have not watched the first episode, they have seen the opening, because everybody is in love with the opening, and understandably so. It is very well done. It is very, like, interesting, and, like, does a lot to set up. I wouldn't say it does a lot to set up, but it's like one of those things where it's like the like collision of, like, you know, standard anime aesthetic and then visual noise. And people really dig that, you know, after you get a few Chainsaw Man endings that are that, suddenly everyone was like, oh yeah, I love this. Fucking never listened to a Boris album, probably. Posers.
Go off.
But I still haven't listened to a Boris album, but I'm at least working my way there. I know. I know that I'm not cooking.
They're good.
No,
but I'll get there. I know that I'll get there. But, like, it starts. It is this whole idea of, well, actually, John, I trust that you might actually have more of the plot points, because I definitely, full disclosure, I watched this while a little zooted, so I do not remember everything. So yeah,
the basic conceit is that very suddenly the Japanese government enacts a policy of, like, basically otakuism being outlawed. They just, like, full on raid and destroy Akihabara. They arrest all the otakus, just round them up into fucking prison camps, basically. And
the whole idea is like, oh, it's protection. We are protecting this, like, subculture or something.
Yeah, there's like a whole misinformation campaign where they're like, you know, people on the news are just saying like, oh, all the otakus are being sent to protection facilities, when no, they're just all in cages. And
spinning the big wheel.
Yeah. The whole thing is just like this resistance force led by he's just Otaku Hero, right? Like, I think that's just what he is.
Yeah, he's just called Otaku Hero.
Yeah, and like they don't go into like the characterization really, you know? Like, I mean, he's second guessing himself, and he steps back a bit from his leadership role, and the girl of the group, who is Anarchy-chan, steps up to be the leader. And you know, like the whole thing. It's very basic. Just like, yeah, she starts doing a bunch of cool shit. They start to maybe lose some footing, and he comes in near the end to save the day. You know, it's pretty basic stuff like that. But it's just,
like, I'm glad to see that the cause still lives. If I were to falter, let's go save the day.
Yeah. It's good though. Is the thing though. Like, it's really well animated. It's goofy fun. Like. So then they introduce, like, yeah, there's she is like one of the 4 magical girls. Like, they're trying to gather up the 4 magical girls to stop the gooberment or whatever the fuck. Like, it is very much just like they are like you said that it reminded you of like Cassette Girl. And
yeah, so for those of you not remember, like, there was this old Japan Animator Expo like OVA, or yeah, the short that someone put out as part of the Japan Animator Expo, same video series that gave us Sex and Violence with Mach Speed, Me, like those standouts. But Cassette Girl was like this other thing that like focused on this idea. The ever-present idea of like otakuism as this state of being, which it just becomes so dated the more that the more the time passes. If only because, like, in the States at least, you know, you hear all this like freaks and geeks stuff and like Revenge of the Nerds shit, very like, you know, misogynistic laden and examples of nerddom as a state of being, but then also just generally like this idea of subculture as a lesser form of enjoyment, which just feels so weird nowadays. Where, like, you know, one of the top movie right now as we speak, the Mario movie is something that everyone is going to see. Yeah. Super Mario is on everybody's cinema, followed by the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, well, you see, they don't take it seriously, Maverick. What do you mean? No one takes it seriously.
Yeah.
Mom wants me in bed by 9.
God.
Yeah, but I mean, it does feel dated. Like, but it does feel dated, and it definitely, like when I was watching it, it made me think of, like, yeah, another thing you mentioned too is like Daikon 4. And,
yeah, big time. Like, those are the two that I think about, but mainly it comes back to Daikon 4.
Yeah. And yeah, like, it was definitely something that, like, I walked away from and I was just like, damn, that's really strong. And then, you know, like, I think the first seed of fear that they introduce is they go and rescue the blue magical girl, and the whole thing is that she's horny. Like, I will say it was, like, the fact that they kind of, like, went for it as much as they did made me, like, appreciate it a bit more. Because it wasn't just, like, really basic horny. Like, they straight up, were, like, they were like, how did you get captured? And she was just like, oh, I was going to meet up with someone on, like, on a sex app. And, like, it just shows, like, her fucking, like, profile, and she's got her ass out, and she's just like, I just want to fuck, come meet me. And it's like, you're going that hard, I gotta kind of respect it, you know? Like, if they're just saying, oh, she's horny is one thing, but, like, just, like, straight up her weakness being, like, oh, there's the promise of her getting laid, she's gonna go get captured, you know? Like, that's kind of funny. But, yeah, there's always just that seed of, it's gonna get unfunny, it's gonna get gross, it's gonna do something stupid, like, there's absolutely just that fear, and because of just how good this first episode was, that if it does go downhill, it's just gonna be such a disappointment. But then, like, just, like, having this one episode, like, just, it's just, we have this perfect singular thing, because, like, if they did end it here, it would have been fine. Yeah, like if this was just released as an OAV, like a single 20-minute thing by itself, it would be probably considered like a classic, you know, like this would just be something that people would be like, yeah, like this is a great little short that people would bring up, like, you know, yeah, like Cassette Girl, Sex and Violence with Mach Speed, me, like over the top, violent, sexy, crazy shit that's just, you know, the kind of stuff that you'd expect from this sort of thing. And, you know, now there's just this chance that it's going to go downhill, but like also, God, what if it doesn't? Oh, what if it doesn't? It's gonna be amazing. You know, it's just like
if
we
it
just
doesn't,
have to.
That'll be surprising.
Yeah.
We just kind of have to. We're just gonna have to like
comes back
watch
down to that idea. Yeah. Like it again when you center this on like the idea of what is otaku, and especially like West Side or all English publication, like I just see a lot of this focus on like, we're gonna take fandom back, and it's like you are clinging to anything to still have that example. You are grasping at anything that you could use to make the comparison, and granted, people are enjoying it, and like I will assume that at the end of the day, it is not going to be one of the worst shows of this season, but yeah, it's like.
It's one of those things where it's like,
high point,
yeah,
and I hope the ceiling is higher.
There's just so much promise here that if it does let us down, it's just gonna feel really bad. That is the thing. It's just like, man, there's such a chance this could be so cool. Like this could be like if this carries through all 12 episodes, it could be like Fully Coolly tier. And
I will have felt bad to have faith in it, and it
exactly,
takes a lot
to
make me feel that.
I'd say the number one fear right now is that it's a Wonder Egg.
Yeah.
Oh my god, was this going to be my Wonder Egg?
I mean,
possible.
it's like you know the tier of disappointment. Like in Wonder Egg, where Wonder Egg was like, wow, this is handling this like serious topic very well, and then it stopped doing that. And here it's gonna be like, oh wow, this is having a lot of fun, and then it's gonna stop being like that. You know, it's just like I don't know. We'll see. I hope it's good. I hope it continues to be good. But at the same time, like even if it's not, like I almost want to just be like, yeah, if this sucks, let's just keep this first episode, just, like, put this away in a special place. Because it is that good, I think.
Distributed as a tape.
Yeah. God, yeah.
If we get a gag where the, like, visual turns into 4x3, I'm gonna have more faith.
Mm-hmm.
But that's to be determined.
Is that just the end of your one episodes, John?
I mean, the other thing that I've seen one episode of so far is the new season of Witch from Mercury, which I don't think that's too fair to say, per se, but they're setting stuff up. It's good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited to see where things are going, but it's back. I see some folks being mad that it kind of shifted back to the school stuff already.
Yeah.
But I think that's a little like short-sighted because it's shifting back to the school, but after something really horrible happened that they're trying to cover up, and you know, things like there is basically a powder keg under the school, and it is about to explode. Like they have to go back to the school because shit is bad, and it's going to only get worse. And like, yeah, they're going to introduce how that goes down.
Yeah. Again, it's like you see any other Gundam series, and I can at least start to explain with more clarity what isn't working for me. And here it is the fact that it's like the interpersonal stuff is starting to like garner some interest, but the bigger like political ploys kind of ring hollow because it's like I actually don't know if there is something being fought over.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is, it's like, it doesn't want to be Succession, but I think it would do much more. It would soar if it leaned into trying to be Succession, with how much it's talking about the war economy.
I think like the main thing to me about the show that makes it work for me is that it's the idea that that doesn't matter to what's happening. Actually, like the machinations are happening in the background. I can totally understand like wanting that to be the case, but this is just ultimately Soletta's mom's epic revenge. She doesn't give a shit. Like,
oh yeah, no, that and I think like, that part is fine.
Yeah,
and we love women's wrongs. We love when a woman decides to become Char Aznable. That is fine, but it's really just like, again, to use 0079 as the frame point, like, immediately I knew that Char Aznable hated the fucking Zabi family. And when push comes to shove, he is able to resolve his conflicts with the Zabi family. Oh man, that last episode,
I think it's just like...
But here, it's more like, I know the difficulty, or like I am aware of the, like, points, but then it is sort of just like this additional thing where it's like, are we mainly going to see the machinations come through with the children? And that's fine. Like, it still supplants with the ethos of the franchise overall when the ethos is done well. It really is like, I'm waiting for the thing that like hooks me in.
I was gonna say, like, the thing that I think like I can understand your frustration with is like, she is the Char, but like in Gundam there was Char and there was Amuro, you know, and they're showing those two sides and two like perspectives and the perspectives of all the various characters, and I think here it is definitely a lot weaker just in format, because it's like, I don't like, I just think about, I can't even fucking remember his name, but that dude who like, he's like, oh, you did the SOS signal at the base to save us or whatever in this episode, and it's like, who is he, you know? Like, I don't know anything about him. Whereas, like,
he's the leader. He's the
he's just a guy,
the leader of the company.
But then it's just like, I think about like OG Gundam, and you know who all those fuckers are, even if they don't matter. You know, like they're very boisterous about their way, and there was a way to subtly do it, but I don't think they introduced enough of these characters.
Ryu's the fucking man.
That's what I'm saying. Like you know who that is, and like here it's a lot harder, and that is definitely my complaint here. Also, I just want more Prospera scenes in general, because she's awesome like, every time she's there.
It is not going to be the worst show. Again, they would have to like astoundingly break through the titanium ceiling, or no, not titanium ceiling, titanium like ground floor that is Gundam Seed. Or more specifically, Gundam Seed Destiny, from what I hear, to make like the definitive worst Gundam show.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hate revisiting that fucking era so bad.
I've been shocked seeing people like actually think that this is going to be like queer baiting. Like,
oh, I want to go that far, but again, it's like I definitely am not the person to make the judgment.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying I've seen a lot of people saying that, and I'm like really confused by it, because it's like they literally had the character say like gay people are normal in like episode 2.
Yeah, no, it's like I would like to see more of the struggle based on the effects of episode 12, where it's sort of just like, shit, what's going on here? But also, like, again, it's like, I know people that are into it mainly because it's like gay, lesbian, gay, and it's like, that's like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that's dumb, because why would I be in this line of community that I am if I had that kind of a thought? But also, it's just like there is stuff that I start to appreciate from Gundam as a whole. And again, like, this comes in as the series that is like, you know, recognizing Gundam is sort of seen as like the grandpa series, so we're trying to modernize it in a way, and it's like, I get it, but also there's still some shit like that is still like a pillar of animation narrative. There is a reason that, like, in this whole confusion about what a subversion is, the ultimate thing is like, no, Tomino was already actively talking about how systems of capitalism weigh down on you like the Earth's gravity, and that you have to genuinely think beyond that in order to find any sort of like real freedom in the systems we find ourselves in. And just like tuned that for multiple kids shows. Eventually the opinions on women also got better. Like, I'm not going to say that he's a saint, because he's fucking not, but it's all there. It is all there to see, and it's not any sort of this idea of like, oh man, we need something different, but it's more just building on the foundation that's there. I also just think the robots could be cooler.
But that's
me.
definitely another problem that I can agree with, only because like we're seeing training robots a lot of the time for the most part. I think that last episode of the last season was really good for robots, showing a bunch of different guys that were all fighting, like the two girls, the two witches and everything.
Again, it's like, you know, Azaku is still the grunt robot, but you fucking know Azaku. You know an Act guy. You know a Zigak. You know a Rick Dom. I can literally list, like, a majority of the fucking, like, Xeon Army mobile suits because of how distinct they are. And here it just all kind of becomes a garble. I did actually take a chance to see some of, like, the Gunpla that are out right now of the new series, and it's like, okay, I can actually conceptualize it now. This is starting to make sense. But I don't know. If I can't see it in animation, that is a little funky for me. Again, it's this thing where it's like I'm waiting to see what comes up.
Sure. So yeah, I watched that Gundam too. I just have a bunch of really quick ones that I think me and Maverick have some overlap here that we can talk about. So I'll start with my individual ones, which is I watched the first episode of season 2 of Magus Bride, Ancient Magus Bride. It was great. It was really good. Really optimistic for this season adapting. I think I've talked about this before, but the manga really had this problem where they introduced this school arc that we're in for the second season. And the school arc happens like immediately after like the main arc sort of like reaches like a sort of conclusion, and they're like, all right, let's go in this direction. And it had the problem of being a monthly manga that introduced 20 characters at once and then gradually doled out information about them over the next year. And this week-to-week format's already like doing way better for it. Like having 24 minutes covering like 2 to 3 chapters is already like way better at making sure like you know who this person is, and having the people who did the screenplay for season 1 of Magus Bride like still here and like doing really good jobs of adapting shots, making them look really good. It looks better than the manga, which is always something I'm happy to say about something, because you run into a lot of situations like that. But I was really glad. I think the production values are all increased from the first season. It's really impressive. They went independent for this one. I think a bunch of people left Wit Studio to work on this a couple years ago, and it really shows. It's a really good adaptation, and I highly recommend it. I was also happy because they got the first opening singer back to do another opening that's like the first one. Pretty good. I think this is a great season for openings in general, I want to say, also.
Yeah.
Like, Oshinoko's opening,
strong.
like, all this stuff.
Oshinoko.
I've been pretty happy. So yeah, the two that are... I have another one. I watched My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, because my wife loves rom-com stuff. And that one was okay. It's very much in the vein of like MMO Junkie type stuff. A lot more shoujo-y than that, even, I would say. But it's cute. I like that basically the conceit of the show is that this girl gets dumped by her boyfriend, and then she's like, she had gotten into basically, let's say, Final Fantasy XIV with him. And she's just like, oh, I don't even know how to play video games, but I was playing this. And then she's like, you know what? I was going to go to this like fan event. I'm going to go by myself, and I'm going to like dress up and do awesome or whatever. And she has a bad time, but then she manages to blackmail this like tall, handsome man into pretending to be her boyfriend for the event. And the dude is like super doesn't give a shit about anything. He's just like a dude who does not talk much, and he's just like, oh, he's like peak gamer. He's peak gamer. And like it comes out like, oh, he's a dude who makes YouTube videos about the video game. Like he's like a big hardcore raider or whatever. And she's like, I wouldn't say they have like a relationship yet, but it's very much like this thing of like, she's like forcing this guy to take care of her while she's sad, and he's just like, I don't know what this is. The main appeal of this show to me is that every time they go into the game, he is so mean to her. Like, she's like, I don't know how to play this video game, and he's like, why would you do that? Like, she was like filling their guild chest up with like a bunch of useless items, and he's like, whoever did this is the worst person alive. I hate this so much. And then she just cries and logs out, and then everyone's like, what's wrong with you, man? It's just cute. It's fun. I think, like, you can tell it's made by people who actually play MMOs for once. Like, it has the angle that MMO Junkie had of, like, these are people who play video games, you know? These are the different types of gamers you run into. You run into gamers who got into it and aren't, like, they don't know how to play it properly, but they still played it because they got into it from someone else. Like, Final Fantasy XIV, I know so many people like that. And I think it's cute. It's cute so far. I really like the main guy, Yamada-kun. He just doesn't know what's going on at any point, I think, in a way that's really fun. But he's also like a really good gamer, so it's just like everyone who runs into him in public is like, oh my god, he's the cool gamer, and he's like, hi. But it's fun. Yeah, it's just a fun little thing. The other two I watched that Maverick also checked out. So I watched Hell's Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And I only watched the first episode. I don't know about you, Maverick, but
oh yeah, I've only.
Okay.
I was surprised to find that there is a second episode out
I was
already.
too. I think it started a little early, but that one's fun. It wasn't like a mind blowing thing or anything, but watching it and being like, this is a show about like this super cool ninja. I think we were reading the conceit, and it's like very much battle royale like description of like this man on death row has to go to an island to find the elixir of life or whatever. But this first episode was really fun because it had this like woman interrogating this ninja guy and him just being like, I can't be killed or whatever, like all this stuff. And like, oh, I killed all these people. All the people talking to like, dude, don't you know that guy's so scary? He killed 20 men. And then like, it's played super seriously, like interrogations are showing him like they're outlining like a bunch of different ways of execution and trying them on him, and they can't do it because he's like a super strong ninja with like a body of steel. And it just gets to this point where the woman's like, I know why you can't be killed. It's because you don't want to die because you're a wife guy. And then he's like, what? No. And it's like talk about how much he loves his wife. And I really liked that angle. Like, it was like a really good twist that, like, I think made the show for me. As soon as that got in,
I was immediately like, all right, I'm willing to see what's going on here.
Yeah, because the conceit of the show isn't like, you go to this island and you get to live. It's you go to this island and you get to see your wife again. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's like such a novel approach because it does imply like a degree of relationship understanding that most of these shows completely fail to reach for.
It actually is getting to this idea of like, nah, she is, my waifu.
Yeah.
Genuinely, this person who I love and adore to the point that I will claw tooth and nail to get back. Here's hoping episode 2 rides that momentum.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm pretty sure that this woman who interrogated him, who I think is like his handler, I think goes with him to the island when they go or whatever.
Right, because the whole conceit is like, we're going to this island to find the elixir of life.
Yeah.
And so people who are also gonna be here and trying to find it, it's not explicitly like a battle royale, but it's doing enough to set the conceit for one. It's more, genuinely, it's more of a rat race.
Yeah.
More of a mad world.
I think
where it is like various factions having to go and get the one like item, the one valuable.
Yeah. I think immediately, like I said, though, it gets around like a lot of problems with this sort of format of the show because like I haven't seen more of it, but I think so many of those shows, because I've had to watch a bunch of them with my old roommate, like all the time, like Darwin's Game and shit like that, like even Danganronpa. There's this idea of like when someone is pushed to the edge and it goes like, why don't you want to die? And they just go, because I want to live. And it's like, I think this is like way more in line with understandable motivations. Like he has a wife that he loves. Of course he wants to live with his wife, you know? Like it just makes sense. Like they don't give compelling motivations to these people because they just write psychopaths every single time for this type of work. Another little thing that I really liked in this was he kept bringing up like weird misogyny things, and then like he's like at the end he's like, wait, you're the executioner but you're a woman, and she's like, yeah. And it just paints a picture of like he's just from misogyny village where they hate women, I guess, and everywhere else is normal, which is just such a weird little bit. But yeah, I'm optimistic for that. I'm also optimistic for Death Mount Dead Play, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Which is a reverse isekai where
I will not lie, it lost me at the beginning. I was sitting there like, oh man, when you show me that we're dealing with Shrosvard von Jagen, mate, like I can't even remember that dude's name.
I couldn't tell you either, but there's Corpse God too. But
he's out here fighting Corpse God.
Yeah, they show this hero, they give the backstory to this hero fighting the Corpse God, this big necromancer, and then it's like, oh, he defeated him, but he got away. Or he activated a spell, and it shows like it happening. And then it shows like this dude waking up, and then like some stuff happens, but like eventually it's just revealed like they try to like sort of play it like it's the hero got sent over, but then it's immediately like, no, it's the necromancer dude and he's our hero. Like it's Corpse God.
Which that twist was fun.
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot of fun with it.
And immediately they do some good jokes I like of just like he's walking around with a slit throat because he's a necromancer dude, so he just like reincarnated and everyone's like, is that just a like weird, what's wrong with you, man? And like he gets in a fight and just like immediately he's like, how long are you gonna play? Like he like stabs the woman against the wall or whatever that was trying to kill him, and he's just like, now how long are you gonna pretend to be asleep or whatever? Let's continue to fight. And he's just like, oh wait, this is a normal human being. She just died. Like I remembered instantly as soon as I got to like the part where there's this woman going after him trying to kill him. I was like, oh right, I remember people were talking about this on Twitter. The conceit of the show is basically Corpse God Man is like, okay, I can finally try to like live life happily and help people now that I'm away from that evil, horrible isekai world. But he reincarnates into like a mafia prince and has to deal with that type of stuff. I think is pretty. Yeah. I'm pretty sure is the conceit of the show, which is sort of like Durarara in a way, but like I've heard good things about it, and it seems a lot of fun just from that first episode.
Yeah, no, like this genuinely, I am surprised at how much I enjoyed it, and by the end of it, I am looking forward to see more of it. I hope that it doesn't blow it, but it, like, again, like, I at least was able to see enough where it's like, all right, I'm curious. Like, you got me.
Yeah.
I will sit through this.
I think it really helps that it's I don't know, I don't think it leans into the isekai parts as it continues to go. I think it really does focus on, like, the sort of weird interdrama and stuff like that, and his own, like, belief systems and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for fucking, like, oh, you thought this was the villain? This is our hero. You know, like, I just love that stuff every single time.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be interesting here. Really liked the assassin girl's weird cape hoodie thing that she had.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Really cool. Good animation in general. Good animation on like a ton of shows this season. I've been really surprised from all the stuff that I've dipped into.
Yeah.
All right, LV.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say I didn't think we'd talk this much about TQ. How about we can do one more each? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. LV, pick one thing out of these you'd like to discuss.
Yeah. I think it's important to confront our shadows sometimes. So I think I'm going to return to the darkness.
Oh boy.
But before I'm going to preface that I am someone who used the VR. This is also in breaking news. This is also not breaking news. This is up 2 months ago, and I never realized it.
I didn't until last week.
The media streaming platform VRV, which was something I was using mostly for my anime watching, because they got good shit on there. First of all, it had mostly a lot of the stuff that was I don't know. They had like a good contract initially. I think in the first 10 years of this, I don't know if it's that old actually, to be quite honest. But anyway, they had like somehow secured good contracts where they were just pretty much getting all the shit from various different, like they were getting stuff from High Dive, Crunchyroll, etc., all those, Funimation. And then the great merger started happening, like right 3 years ago. Like Funimation is just Crunchyroll, Crunchyroll is just all that. So VRV is sunsetting by May, and they're just gonna be folded into Crunchyroll. What do you mean? Anyway, there's like only one anime streaming platform now, except High Dive. High Dive still is fine. High Dive
even High Dive's on Amazon.
High Dive is just oh really? Yeah. Well, they're somehow still surviving, having all the old shit, and really love Yuri. They're doing great. Good for them. Maybe they'll be the one survivor in this streaming platform wars. Anyway,
there's also Retro Crush.
Oh yes,
that's true.
That's like not marketed. I feel like
it's not really. I do want to say I'm with you, LV. I'm really sad about this because
it's so sad.
It's the only phone app that lets you take screenshots.
Their app actually works.
Yeah.
But no, in the last couple of years, they were just losing more content. Again, the thing about VRV is they had a bunch of other, like they had stuff with Rooster. They had like all sorts of weird things too. Like again, adult animation, Adult Swim stuff, Rooster, etc.
CISO, they had famous CISO programming.
Yes. They had Shout Factory stuff for a bit too. But anyway, they were slowly dying and Crunchyroll's eating its corpse. So I was a bit set back in like terms of trying to finish some stuff from last season, and the audacity that it just doesn't work anymore. And I'm like emailing support and being like, what the fuck? It doesn't make sense. I don't know if I'm getting free Crunchyroll or like my VR. I don't think I'm being grandfathered in. I have to now pay for Crunchyroll if I wanted to do that now. It's stupid. I'm not being folded in from VRV's like payment plan to Crunchyroll's. It's stupid. Anyway, the app stopped working. So I had to make effort. I had to do the effort. I had to bother doing work just to finish The Angel Next Door, which was the most shameful thing for me to do that. To search the high seas just to finish this horrible. It's not horrible, but it's a series that is cringe. I think this is. I think this is my rightful place to say Angel Next Door was cringe. Never again, except I probably will be, because I know Tokinawa's season 2's, yeah. Anyway, so they finally do, last time I talked about the series, right, it's meandering, right? I'm like, why are they fucking weird? Why is this girl barging into this guy's apartment with her, I want to take care of him and housekeeping, dilly-dally, like, but I don't want to date him. You know what I mean? They clearly like each other. They have, like, friends who are normal teenagers who are like, yeah, we're the guy is the most, and I've said this before, too, like, with some context looking into it. Like, apparently it was originally a light novel. The guy has more personality in a light novel, so I'm like, what is wrong with him? There's nothing wrong with him. He's just a guy that, for some reason, doesn't want to say. The third to last episode, they give a little backstory of him, and he's like, yeah, I was a pretty bad kid or whatever. He was nothing. He was still nothing. They show him hanging out with these guys. They like insult one person. Maybe, I don't know. They're just being teenage guys that are not mature or whatever. But they're not bullies. He wasn't in a gang, but they're not doing anything bad. And he's like, yeah, it sucked that I hung out with those guys. And that's why I had to like move out and go to a different school. I did so many bad things. He didn't do anything. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just a boring ass dude. Anyway, girl keeps still breaking. Well, he's now letting her just do that, like with consent. Like she's just going into his apartment, cleaning up stuff. She already tells him at some point, like, you know, you look pathetic and I like you. Like, she just admits that up front. She just has a thing about cleaning up after messy men. They never show her family. They don't ask where she is. Why is she? She just lives with this guy now, and they're not dating though. They're totally not dating. Anyway, the most baffling thing that happens before they finally kiss, whatever, last episode, he keeps looking at her. All the red flags and weird things that are like, why don't you just fuck? I don't understand. Like, he keeps looking at her when she's sleeping. He touches her lip. Like, what? Why are you? This is not normal. What's wrong with you? At some point, he literally just has a wet dream. Not as insane as Rent a Girlfriend. Like, it's not exclusive, but you know what I mean. He has a saucy dream about her in lingerie, climbing on him.
A tepid dream.
And then he's like, no, I don't like her. I don't want to date her. He keeps telling that to people. He keeps telling that to her. They keep setting these boundaries to each other that make no fucking sense by how far their relationship crossed boundaries already. At some point, the thing that really like broke my brain and made me laugh the most was she, like, again, he's still surprised she's going to his apartment, cleaning his house. He comes home one day, she's there, and she had no socks or slippers on. He looks at her feet.
Jesus Christ.
The shot focuses on her feet for a bit. I don't know. And the camera pans up, and he's so taken aback by seeing her feet. It was the worst thing ever. No, it was not the worst thing ever for me. I thought it was very funny. But it was the worst thing ever for this man to see her feet. He was like he got so nervous. He's like, can you please put socks on? Like, he could not handle seeing her feet. Yeah, it was so weird. It was really weird. And no feet stuff happens in the rest of it. That was like the weird. That was the weirdest interaction. Anyway, these two are fucking weirdos. They admit they love each other in the end, so I guess they're meant to be. This series is so stupid. I don't understand. Oh my god. We notice there are pieces of media and fiction that are meant to be like weird portrayals of like that's the problem with isekai as a whole. Like, there's some isekai that actually is good, but then the genre became saturated with like so many people who are like, I want to write a book, get it published, get me money, and then stuff that's clearly like a self-insert fantasy. So it's like the lowest common denominator of like, okay, here's what, so yeah, whatever. And then something like this is very much like, here's the teenage fantasy you never had. Can you imagine yourself in this situation? What if a pretty rich girl was like, I'm gonna take care of you? You know, this is what that series is. Like, what if a cute girl, what if the popular girl actually specifically took care of you? And she was being this guy's mommy, basically, right? But just total no sense, like just complete yeah. They're not acting like normal teenagers.
That's what I'm saying.
Mean?
Like with Skip and Loafer.
What school did you go to? How did you interact with people? Where? Who? I'm doing joking. The feet thing really got me.
I don't blame you. Like that's all
I have to say about this series. Fucking feet.
Fucking feet.
Angel Next Door. No, it was hell. No, there was nothing heavenly about that series. It was very depraved. What were you saying, Rose? Yeah, just agreeing.
I was just that's exactly what Skip and Loafer, like the thing that like really like hearing Maverick talk about it is so much of this bullshit is like that, and it's just like, man,
none of that.
Thank God that they like. There's just so much bullshit that's exactly like that, of just like, yep, we got fucking, I don't even know. It's just,
but also, it's like, again, we're, Toradora, it did this and it worked because of the balance of everything. This just sounds like a weird attempt to be like some fantasy, and it's like, for what pervert?
Yeah, like what is it's for this very specific person who really wants a girl to come and take care of them like a mom, but not date them, and also show them their feet sometimes.
And also maybe date them.
Maybe date them. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a series about edging. I'm sorry. We've been
really
talking about
is.
so
It
many
does
rancid
seem like
things
that,
in this
yeah.
but this is an edging series, and I don't want to be part of your sick fetish of edging. Okay, I'm not edging is fine, whatever. Okay, I don't
edging
know.
isn't that
I have no
fucked up.
feelings
You're
about
right,
edging,
you're right,
and I
yeah.
particularly do not engage in edging, whatever.
It's just, we don't need to hear about it.
But why was I dragged into this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, and it's the light novel is on hiatus. I don't know what that means. Like, I'm not going to bother researching maybe they're dating. They've been deep dating. Maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe the series they're already deep dating. Maybe like this anime is nothing but a snippet of that beginning. Who knows? But it just felt like a strangest. It is just a bad way to stretch out a series, right? Like, it's like, why couldn't have they just sped up this meandering and got over this cat and mouse bullshit over like, I don't want to touch her hand or anything, you know, like, and then there's more thoughtful ways to, I think, like, portray that build-up and tension of like, oh, will they or won't. That is the whole thing, will they or won't they, and people love that, and that can be done well. But then this was just bad. Like, this is just it's annoying. This is just annoying and not grounded in the reality of how teenagers actually act, or how people actually just act in general. Like, a human did not make this. This is like someone who's just this is an alien. This is Tomarin understanding how humans work. Yeah,
it screams to me the same way like something like 50 Shades of Grey. Of just like,
yeah.
This is divorced from any idea of like real romance. It's based entirely off of literary concepts and like
and then deciding to hone in on a specific like subculture and yeah.
It's just like, I'm going to cover every single trend you can imagine or whatever. Like, just that sort of like very formulaic writing. I need to write X theme in. Yeah. Well, I'm really sorry that you had to be exposed to this writer's fetish so deeply.
How fucking dare they?
Honestly, though, that seems like something you have to sign to like a waiver. There should be like a thing like, heads up, this contains some real pervert shit.
Beamed with
it. Was surprised.
Beamed with it like a dodgeball.
All right. Maverick, do you want to talk about something more lengthy, or do you want to talk more about like some more quick one-shots stuff? What's the vibe?
I'm going to be greedy and do both.
Okay,
but
sure.
Literally these quick hits are going to be quick. So, for the stuff that I would say not everyone else has gotten to yet, and that I'm willing to let myself get into, I watched Clueless First Friend. Very cute, harmless fun. It's fine. Insomniacs After School. You know what? Maybe 2 cishet romances can exist if you at least go about it in a way that is interesting in one season. It feels like a much more down-to-earth version of like Call of the Night. Especially when the conceit is, we can't go to bed, so we're going to be staying up at night. But it does it in a way where it's kind of just like, I don't know, it is very relatable in what it wants to get to. And I appreciate that. Aono Orchestra is fine. Like, it's whatever. I am curious if it'll actually hit this, like, now prophetized iteration of, like, music and anime that I look for now that we've like brought it up, but I'm not getting my hopes up for that. Homemade Hero was the one about like, what if 2 parents had to murder their kid's boyfriend because he's in the Yakuza and extorting her. It gets to the idea. It's definitely trying to play the conceit straight and isn't trying to like blow off anything, but also like, I don't know if the melodrama is exactly working here. I might need to give it a few more episodes to see what they're trying to get to. I'm up in the air about it. Immediate drops already. Fuck the Maid terracing its maidens. Bad harem show. Literally 2 minutes in, I was already seeing tits and ass and coochie and everything. It's like
sad.
What
was Grandma doing?
When you make me the guy that is fine with seeing a boob or a cooter, like, if
Don't
you make
say
me
that.
averse to that, a hoo-ha.
That's better, thank you.
If you make me go, no, I will not. I will not partake. You fucked up in your show. But then also one of the jokes is like, oh, I'll get our perceptible or our highly susceptible to alcohol friend drunk to try and like sleep with the guy.
No.
Yeah, no, it just was a bad. Yeah, no, like that just left a sour taste in my mouth. Because again, like the conceit of it is like the guy's not interested; he just wants money. But also, like this is a dude where it's like, oh, I see that you were going to make fried chicken. Did you know that one piece of fried chicken is actually going to be 600 yen? And if we were to double the price of that, it would be 1,200 yen, and I would get a 2% increase in profit. Like this dude would love cinema sins. He loves to make himself seem so smart. And before he left his dying grandma, he was like, I can't wait to get rich and extort people so that you can live a comfortable life. And it's like, dude, take a lap. No thank you. And then Rokudo's Bad Girls, again, I like the conceit, but like, it just feels so tired. I was literally skipping through the second half of the show because it's like, you showed me the fun, like, delinquent girl, but now I don't care. You're not making me care enough. And I'm not really... Also a show with like a surprisingly good OP, but it's not enough to actually make me care about the rest of the show. So, sad. But part of what makes me glad we did take some time, or that we decided to
Take a day.
Yeah, this is getting recorded on Wednesday instead of our usual Tuesday. So that means I was able to sneak in the first episode of Oshi no Ko, which is an hour and 22 minutes.
I was going to say sneak in is... I don't know if you snuck that in. I think you had to like put the weight in for that one.
I planned it out still, but no. And let me tell you, Skip and Loafer is going to be my favorite. Oshi no Ko is probably going to be like the hands down best show of this season. And I am not just saying that. Like, it was smart to do this very extended pilot because it is giving you the entire, like, prologue is what this is. And for those who may not know, Oshi no Ko, which I would say is, like, you know, my favorite's child, is what would be the rough translation. Oshi being, like, the term that you use to describe, like, your favorite in like an idol group or like your favorite VTuber or whatever. But it's about a idol who is very popular, is starting to like rise through the ranks and get her star shot. One of the people that is like seeing this rise is a doctor out in the country who got tuned in and was like over enthusiastic as one of her fans, because a patient that he had who had a terminal illness was also a big fan, and so sort of like preserving her legacy or her memory through this like fan involvement, fan interaction. Turns out that the idol leaves for a bit, takes a leave of absence because she is actually pregnant, and is goes to this doctor specifically because of like the remote location, but then finds out like, oh, you know, you like my stuff. I'm not giving up being an idol once I have my kids. Turns out she's having twins. Like, I'm gonna, you know, keep doing it because I know that people have an expectation of me. This very sinister, but at the same time, what can feel genuine expression of like, I lie to people, but that is how I show my love. And it's so weird, but it's like, it's an intentional weird. And that's what's already got me hooked. But then, it's the night of the pregnancy where she's going to give birth. The doctor goes out for a minute, and this guy is like, hey, is this so-and-so's hospital? Are you her doctor? And he's like, why do you know that? Like, what? How did you get that info? It turns out it's a stalker, and ultimately, stalker pushes the doctor off a cliff, and he dies. and then he gets reincarnated as one of the idol's kids. And then, like, I, oh my god, I am over the moon about this show, because then because like, it's setting up multiple things, and it needs to. It sets up this. It sets up that, you know, not only is the doctor now reborn as, like, her son, Aquamarine, so-and-so. The show does a good... Overall, the writing is very quick, where it's like, yeah, no, this would be what a 16-year-old decides to name me when I am ultimately, like, a child, when I'm her child.
Also kind of like a jab to it. Sometimes celebrities sound like they seem like they always keep giving their kids insane names just because they can. Yeah. But no, it's also more realistic. She's
Zappa?
Still a teenager who had him, and didn't think about that. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, well, I at least thought enough about the theming, because then he has a twin sister, Ruby. And
the next Pokemon games.
Yeah. The audience finds out pretty quickly is the reincarnation of that terminally ill fan that the doctor was, like, supporting in her final, like, years.
Oh, okay.
But neither of them know their actual, like, their past life identities. They only know one another as, like, the kids. And pretty early on, they find out, like, that they are, one, like, you know, as babies, they actually are, like, able to talk to one another, and actually in general able to talk. The show is good enough to, like, brisk through it, because it's like, you just need to know that this exists in the continuity and, like, the fabric of the show. You don't need to know the nitty gritty.
Are they supposed to be twins?
Yes, they are.
Okay, twins. No, then that's very easy for them to play off. Like, oh, twins have this, which they actually probably do. Like, twins have a weird natural way of communicating.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So they can play off of that, and, you know,
it works off it, where it's like, it's not asking you too much, but it's like enough to get stuff rolling, where it's like, you know, to make sure that, like, this scandal doesn't come out because someone is feeling overworked or, like, under pressure, like, their babysitter's like, why do I have to do this? I was promised a better life. They decide to, like, talk in front of her, because it's like, oh, we're deity. Like, they bullshit enough with an already ludicrous situation that it wraps back around to being like, yeah, you know what, I'll go along with this if it means that, like, this is already bullshit enough that I'm gonna have to believe it. It veers into JoJo logic, but in a way that isn't, like, stifling. It is nuts how it gets to this, but then you remember that it's by the Kaguya-sama guy, so it's like, of course, he's had experience with this. But Aquamarine Hoshino and Ruby Hoshino are these twins to famous idol Ai Hoshino, and her manager is like, all right, we're gonna get you back into the routine, we're gonna just, you know, get you on the track back to stardom. And the show is also doing a lot to at least give a very earnest look at the idol industry, where it's like, gee, you know, mom is really working hard. Why is that? And, like, the manager, babysitter, like, the babysitter who is the, like, president of the idol company's wife, basically, will just be like, yeah, you know, I run the finances. And it's like, she's talented for an idol, and she's definitely got that routine, but when you look at the entertainment industry as a whole, you have to be adaptive. You have to be multifaceted. And if you're not, you're kind of just stuck being a pretty face until that pretty face wears out. It is so direct about it, while also being earnest about the reality that it's like, yeah, you know, these people that are actively becoming entertainers and actively presenting this forward-facing figure are sometimes the last comfort that a person in their twilight years will experience, and that becomes a connection for somebody else. Like, it is an all-encompassing look at the industry, both good and bad. And it does not shy away from the bad, because we fast forward a bit to, like, you know, we're, like, still toddlers and stuff, but it's at least normal for us to, like, talk to anybody. But occasionally it's like, hey, why do you know how to say these phrases? Or, like, why is this kid reading, like, an old, like, Japanese memoir? Like, little gags like that, where it's still just like, oh yeah, like, these kids are not normal. But eventually, Ai gets popular enough where she has to do a drama, and, well, in this section, like, to summarize it best, we get the conceit of the actual reincarnation section, the conceit as to, we at least know that both twins recognize that they're in this weird situation and how they play off one another for it. This next part is, okay, the kid, because he is, a doctor in the past life, has had a lot of just interpersonal interaction. That lends itself to just being a pretty surprisingly well done child actor, because it's like, this kid speaks like an old guy, or like a guy speaks like a doctor, and it's a little unsettling, but also pretty neat. Maybe you have a future there. The Ruby is then like figuring out this love of like dance and performing, which comes, from this fact that most, if not all of her life was spent in a hospital ward, and sort of this idea that like, I was never gonna really break out of that. But here, I never gave much thought to this idea of a genuine second chance to really find out what I want to do and who I am outside of that other personification. It's not like, I think it does a good job of not dwelling too much on this idea of like, I hated my past life, because it never feels like that. It's more just like, I spent so much of my personality and identity as the fan that I never thought of myself in an active role. And to now be in this position to have an active role, that is such a high ceiling for me to fill up, which is interesting. I like that. And this whole pilot ends in a moment where, you think everything's going fine, like there's this sort of build up on what's going on. I need to say it. They kill off Ai. She is attacked by a stalker, a separate stalker. And immediately she's in this position where it's like, it is this genuinely, like, I was taken with the scene of just like her cradling Aqua, who is there to notice what happened. She's just like, this whole time, because I was raised in like a group home, I never really knew if I like had the capacity for love, and to have this chance to sort of like fake that out, maybe I could have learned how to do it. And, here with my two children, I can at least say that I did know what love felt like, and it's so gripping. And then the manager's wife is like, hey, I was your babysitter for a while, so would it be fine if I took you in as my children? You don't have to think of me as your mom, but I genuinely do see you as my children at this point. And in the car after all this, like post-funeral, the kid, Aqua, is sitting there and thinking, wait, both of these stalkers had very specific information about where things were going on, what was happening. Like, we had recently moved apartments. No one knew about that. We've kept the kid situation completely into the dark. And is realizing that the only person who might have actually been able to tip this off was their father, the unnamed, unknown father, who at least has ins in the entertainment industry. And so Aqua's whole plan is he's going to learn how to become part of the entertainment industry to kill his dad. And then fast forward to them in high school, and that's where the first episode ends. It's so good.
Damn.
Fucking alright.
I'm looking forward to watching it at some point this week.
Yeah, me too.
It is a ride. Oh my god, I'm gonna be mad that I don't have an entire hour and 22 minutes to go back to next week.
I'm glad to hear your thorough thoughts on it, because again, the premise of it can easily go sideways. It's like, ugh.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
then even hearing more details about it, it's like, oh, okay, this is actually a very well developed.
The smartest thing they did was to block this all as one episode, because I think if they tried to do it by a week to week, that would have been disastrous for the show. It would not have, you need all of this in one package.
I think also the concept of they are really taking their time following how the reincarnated characters are growing. Like, I think of things like Bookworm and then Villainous. Like, they both like kind of actually show how that's manifesting in their minds of like, oh, okay, I have these skill sets of being a previous person, like being a different person, and this is actually relevant in how that's manifesting and developing in me. I'm still a kid, and they're kind of taking it easy in like a more grounded, realistic way. As to, and again, like in Bookworm, no one's taking her seriously. She's a child. Like, what do you mean she's? And then in Villainous, I forgot the actual, the first Villainous, I forgot the name, the specific full title. It's not kicking in quite her former memories. It's kind of slowly getting there until she gets older and becomes an adult and is starting to process that. And I think that's kind of cool in terms of just, oh, here's a throwaway isekai element and not doing anything interesting with it, right? So that's cool. Like, I didn't expect this to be a full on like potentially, I don't know, thriller. I don't know if that would be correct, but like at least a mystery. It kind of
is. It's getting
mystery,
like,
drama,
so there's so much that is in it, and I'm so glad that it's such like a turn, and is also just a genuine like when it wants to get into like, what does the entertainment industry mean? It doesn't hold back. Like, one of the supporting characters is like this like director who is very quick to be like, yeah, this movie that I'm shooting right now, it's a low budget thing. It's whatever. I'll get my flowers for it and then I'll move on to the next project. For some actors, you have the face that gets people interested, the actual talent that'll like float the entire project, and then a newcomer. But we get so many newcomers in this industry that it's sort of like generations leading into generations. And I don't know, I like that it is so candid, both in a way that recognizes just how shitty the industry can be. Because for some parts, like, the stalker moments are just genuinely this fact that it's like guys who really do believe like, you're supposed to be entertaining for me alone, and if you go and do other things, even so far as to, raise a family, then you're a filthy slut and I want you dead. And it's like, yeah, there are guys that think that push a majority of the merch that like also funds the careers and livelihoods for these performers. But then also, to an extent, there are people that also look at the performance and say, yeah, no, like, I earnestly love what is being put out, and I, still engage in capitalism to get to this exchange, but at the same time, it's like I recognize what is there beyond it. It is so interesting and thought-provoking in a way that I didn't anticipate, and I don't know, like, I would be surprised if this somehow took, like, a sour turn.
I wanted to have faith just because it was Kaguya writer. I figured.
Oh yeah, once I learned about that,
yeah, that level of just, I think I mean, like, not to go into it, but like, like with stuff like you talked about a little bit with like the Skip and Loafer stuff, and it's just like Kaguya itself is just like, it's on such a level that I even if when I read that insane thing, I was like, I believe in the vision, like but I'm still happy to hear that is true. Because
literally, I went ahead, I got the episode, and then right after that, I'm like, all right, volumes 1 through 11, let me just download that and get started.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. I'm wondering if I think it'll be a big enough deal, but I'm wondering if that 1 hour 22 minute won't be a bit of a deterrent for some people. I appreciate it, frankly, but
again, it's like, if they did it a different way, I would already tell you to not bother with the show itself.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. John, did you want to talk about something real quick to finish?
I'm going to acquiesce.
Yeah, you're going to acquiesce. We can save it for next time.
There's a lot I could talk about, but yeah, this has already gone on.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. We can talk.
Fucking Teekyu.
We talked longer than most two seasons.
I think that's one of our longest episodes to talk about one of the technically shortest format series. That's that's commendable to be quite
All right.
Sadly, Discourse gets more words out. And I don't think there was Discourse. We all agreed it was a bad show.
Yeah, no, definitely. We just had to like keep going in on it over and over.
We
again.
played right into their dirty heads.
We really did.
We'll leave this sole question for next time because this will be in John's wheelhouse.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about John's beloved anime that started up this season again. So I'm picking the next anime. Yay! I picked Boogie Pop Phantom, which you can find on Crunchyroll.com. I was gonna pick this like 3 times ago, but back then it was only on like Showtime or something insane like that. And I was like, I don't want to make people go get Showtime.
Showtime?
Yeah, it was on Showtime. I don't know why.
What? Wow, not even okay.
It's old. It's an old ass. It's from 2000 or something. So like I get it, but I really like this show a lot. I've only watched like half of it because I read the books and I watched the new series. But I wanted this as an excuse to finish it up because I really like it. I think it's really cool. So we'll check that out for next time. As always, if you want to join the ranks of this person who asked a question that we'll talk about next time, you can go to videogametutu.tumblr.com/ask or just send us a question or opinion anywhere. Patreon.com/VGCC, $3 gets you anything 1 week early. Like, yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we do it over here. I want to thank you all for joining me, and thank you for watching LV and Maverick, especially Maverick here with all these damn shows. Really putting in the work.
Well, when the season has stuff I gotta like dip my toe in, I will dip my toe in.
And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more next time on Unlimited Realworks. Thanks for listening.